The Silent Reckoning. Admiral Tarsik Vega stood motionless on the observation deck of the consortium flagship Inevitable Justice. His silver-scaled skin reflected the starlight as he gazed at the holographic display before him. The Galactic Consortium had existed for 12,000 years, bringing order to the chaotic expanse of space. 217 species lived under its protection and guidance, and one that did not. The display showed the remains of a star system designated Sol 3. Once, it had contained a vibrant blue planet called Earth. Now, only an asteroid field remained, circling a yellow star that continued to shine, oblivious to the loss of its most remarkable world. "Is there any change in the readings, Science Officer Merrick?" Vega asked, his 4 eyes still fixed on the display. Merrick, a slender Valaxian with translucent skin that revealed the complex network of neural pathways beneath, shook her head. "No, Admiral. The system remains as it has for the past 30 years, uninhabited, dead." Vega nodded slowly. The Purge of Sol, as it was officially designated in consortium records, had been necessary. Humans had been warned repeatedly about their aggressive expansion, their refusal to accept consortium authority, their dangerous technological innovations. The Consortium Council had voted unanimously for containment, and when that failed, for elimination. Vega had been a junior officer then, witnessing the decision from afar. He had never questioned it. Until now. "Send another probe," he ordered. "Full spectrum analysis." Merrick's neural pathways flashed with surprise. "Admiral, we've sent 12 probes in the past 5 years. The results are always the same. The system is dead. Humor me, Officer Merrick. I have a feeling." Valaxians didn't understand feelings. They understood data, patterns, and probability. But Merrick respected the Admiral enough to comply without further argument. 3 days later, Vega was summoned to the science bay. Merrick stood before a complex display of energy readings, her neural pathways pulsing with excitement or alarm. Vega could never quite tell the difference. "Admiral, the probe detected something unusual, a subspace frequency we've never encountered before. It appears to be originating from within the asteroid field." "A transmission." Vega's secondary heart quickened. "Not exactly. More like a pulse. Rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat." Vega stepped closer to the display. "Can you isolate it?" Merrick's fingers danced across the control panel. "I've been trying, but it's elusive. Every time I lock onto the frequency, it shifts slightly. As if it knows we're listening," Vega murmured. "That would be impossible, Admiral. Whatever this is, it's likely an automated system, perhaps some Earth technology that survived the Purge." Vega wasn't so sure. Humans had always been unpredictable. It was one of the reasons the Consortium had feared them so deeply. "Keep monitoring. Report any changes immediately." As Vega returned to his quarters, his personal communication device chimed. The message was from the Consortium High Council, an unusual occurrence, as the Council rarely communicated directly with fleet commanders. "Admiral Vega, your presence is required at the Central Hub. Priority Alpha. Transit authorization attached." Within hours, Vega found himself standing before the High Council, 12 representatives of the founding species of the Consortium. Their chamber was vast, designed to accommodate beings of all sizes and environmental needs. "Admiral Vega," began Councillor Dren, a massive gas-based entity contained within a pressurized suit. "We understand you've been conducting unauthorized investigations in the Sol system." Vega straightened. "With respect, Councillor, monitoring quarantine systems falls within my jurisdiction." "The Sol system is not quarantined, Admiral," corrected Councillor Xil, whose crystalline form refracted light in hypnotic patterns. "It is classified as eliminated. There is a distinction." "Of course, Councillor. However, my probes have detected unusual energy signatures that warrant further investigation." A murmur ran through the council. Councillor That, the oldest member, leaned forward. Her avian features were sharp with suspicion. What exactly have you found, Admiral? Before Vega could answer, the chamber's communication systems activated simultaneously. Every screen, every holographic display, even the neural interfaces used by some counselors, all showed the same image: static, then darkness, then a single line of text. You brought this upon yourselves. The message remained for precisely 10 seconds, then disappeared. The council chamber erupted in chaos. A security breach. Impossible. The firewalls are impenetrable. Vega remained silent, his mind racing. The timing was too perfect to be coincidental. Counselor Dren's containment suit pulsed with agitation. Admiral Vega, what is the meaning of this? I don't know, Counselor, but I suspect it may be related to the energy signatures I detected in the Sol system. Humans. Counselor Xil's crystalline form darkened with concern. That's impossible. We confirmed their extinction. Every settlement, every colony, every ship. None escaped. Then perhaps, Vega suggested carefully, our confirmation was flawed. The Council didn't appreciate his suggestion. Vega was ordered to return to his ship and maintain position while a full investigation was conducted. No further probes were to be sent to the Sol system without direct Council authorization. But over the next several weeks, similar incidents occurred throughout Consortium space. Communication relays failed without explanation. Navigation systems malfunctioned, sending ships off course. Power grids on core worlds experienced unexplained surges. And always, just before each incident, the same message appeared. You brought this upon yourselves. Vega monitored the reports with growing concern. The pattern was clear. The disruptions were spreading inward, from the outer colonies toward the Consortium core worlds. Whatever this was, it was methodical, patient, and increasingly bold. Then came the first major blow. The Eridani hub, a crucial nexus for interstellar commerce and communication, went completely dark. No distress signal, no warning. 40,000 Consortium citizens simply disappeared. The Council could no longer ignore the mounting evidence. An emergency session was called, and Vega was summoned once again. Admiral, Counselor, that began without preamble, the situation has escalated beyond our initial assessment. We believe we may indeed be facing a coordinated attack. By whom? Vega asked, though he already suspected the answer. Unknown entities using technology that bears certain similarities to human design principles. Survivors. Vega pressed. Counselor Dren's containment suit rippled with discomfort. We cannot confirm or deny that possibility without further evidence. Then perhaps it's time we obtained that evidence, Vega suggested. I request permission to lead an expedition to the Sol system. The Council exchanged glances. Finally, Counselor Xil spoke. Permission granted, Admiral. But this is a reconnaissance mission only. You are to gather information, not initiate contact or conflict. Vega nodded. Understood, Counselor. As he prepared to leave, Counselor that called after him. Admiral, if these are indeed human survivors, proceed with extreme caution. We underestimated them once before. Vega turned back. With respect, Counselor, I believe our mistake was not underestimating humans. It was assuming we had the right to decide their fate. The journey to Sol took 3 days at maximum transit speed. Vega ordered his ship, the Inevitable Justice, to approach the system with all stealth measures engaged. As they neared the asteroid belt that had once been Earth, the science bay reported increased energy readings. It's definitely a signal now, Admiral, Merrick reported. And it's getting stronger. Can we trace it to a specific location? Not precisely. It seems to be coming from everywhere within the asteroid field, as if the field itself is generating it. Vega frowned. That's not possible. Neither is what our sensors are detecting now, Merrick said, her neural pathways flashing with alarm. The asteroids are moving. Vega rushed to the observation deck. The display showed the asteroid field, thousands of rocky fragments where Earth had once been. But Merrick was right. They were moving. Not in the random patterns of space debris, but with purpose, with coordination. Magnify, Vega ordered. The display zoomed in on one of the larger asteroids. Its surface was changing, shifting like liquid metal. As they watched, it began to transform, revealing smooth contours, angular structures, glowing energy conduits. Not asteroids, ships, thousands of them. Full alert, Vega ordered, his voice steady despite the fear gripping his hearts. All personnel to battle stations. But before his crew could respond, every system on the inevitable Justice shut down simultaneously. Power, propulsion, life support, weapons, all offline. Only basic life support and the observation display remained active. On the display, the asteroid field continued its transformation. The ships, for they were definitely ships now, arranged themselves in a perfect sphere around the inevitable Justice. They were unlike any vessels Vega had ever seen, sleek and organic in design, as if grown rather than built. Then the display changed, showing a single figure. Humanoid, but not entirely human. The being wore no environment suit, despite the vacuum of space. Its skin was pale, but seemed to shimmer with an internal light. Its eyes were entirely black, reflecting the stars around it. When it spoke, its voice resonated directly in Vega's mind. Admiral Tarsik Vega of the Galactic Consortium. We've been expecting you. Vega straightened, forcing calm into his voice. Who are you? The being's expression remained neutral. We are what remains, what evolved, what you failed to destroy. Humans, Vega breathed. Once, the being acknowledged. Now, something more. What do you want? Vega asked, though he feared he already knew the answer. The being's black eyes seemed to look through him, past him, into the very core of his being. Justice, Admiral Vega. The same justice the Consortium delivered to Earth. The same justice your ship is named for. Vega's secondary heart pounded. You intend to destroy us. No, Admiral. Destruction is inefficient, wasteful. The being's lips curved in what might have been a smile. We learned it from you. We have a better alternative. The display flickered, showing images from across Consortium space. The missing colony on Eridani Hub, the affected worlds. In each image, Consortium citizens went about their lives, but something was different. They all wore the same small device at the base of their skulls. What have you done to them? Vega demanded. Integrated them, the being replied simply. They are now part of our collective consciousness. Their knowledge, their skills, their very essence, all preserved and enhanced. Assimilation, Vega whispered in horror. Evolution, the being corrected. The next step. The step the Consortium feared humans would take. The step you tried to prevent by destroying Earth. The display returned to the being's face. You brought this upon yourselves, Admiral Vega. But now we offer you a choice that you never gave us. Join us willingly or resist. The outcome will be the same, but the journey can be painless or painful. The choice is yours. Vega looked around at his crew. He saw fear in their eyes, but also determination. They were Consortium officers, trained to defend their civilization at all costs. And if I refuse? Vega asked. The being's expression remained unchanged. Then you will witness the fall of everything you have sworn to protect. Not through destruction, Admiral, but through transformation. The Consortium will not end. It will simply change. As the being spoke, Vega noticed something strange. Beneath its confidence, beneath its power, he sensed something else. A flicker of emotion. Not hatred or vengeance, as he might have expected. Loneliness. And in that moment, Vega understood. This wasn't about revenge. It was about survival. About ensuring that what happened to Earth would never happen again to anyone anywhere. There must be another way, Vega said quietly. Coexistence. Cooperation. For the first time, the being's composure wavered. The consortium rejected that possibility when they destroyed our world. The consortium made a mistake, Vega admitted, one I have questioned since the day it happened. But repeating that mistake, even in a different form, will not bring justice. It will only perpetuate the cycle. The being was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, it nodded. Perhaps there is wisdom in your words, Admiral. Perhaps. A demonstration is needed. A testimony to what humanity has become and what the consortium could be. The display changed again, showing a massive structure hidden within the remnants of Earth's moon. A structure that hummed with power and potential. This is the Ascension Protocol, the being explained, the culmination of human ingenuity and the key to our evolution. With it, we transcended our physical limitations. We became something new. And you're offering to share this technology? Vega asked, disbelieving. Not immediately. Trust must be earned. But as a gesture of good faith, we will release the citizens of Eridani Hub and restore your ship's systems. True to its word, power returned to the inevitable justice moments later. Reports flooded in from across the ship. All systems operational. No damage detected. Why? Vega couldn't help but ask. After what we did to Earth, why offer peace? The being's expression softened slightly. Because despite everything, Admiral, we remain human at our core. And humans have always possessed the capacity for both great destruction and great compassion. We choose to embody the latter. As the being spoke, Vega felt a profound sense of humility wash over him. The consortium, with all its age and wisdom, had feared human potential so much that they had attempted to extinguish it. Instead, they have forced it to evolve, to become something far beyond their comprehension. Return to your council, Admiral Vega, the being said. Tell them what you have witnessed. Tell them that humanity extends an offer of peace, but from a position of strength, not weakness. The choice they make now will determine the future of all our species. As the inevitable justice prepared to depart the Sol system, Vega remained on the observation deck, watching as the transformed asteroid ships resumed their original appearance, once again becoming the grave markers of a world that had refused to die. He knew the Council would not easily accept this new reality. The consortium had ruled unopposed for millennia. The idea that they now faced a power they could neither control nor defeat would shake the very foundations of their civilization. But perhaps that was exactly what they needed, a reminder that the universe was vast and full of wonders and terrors beyond their understanding. That true wisdom lay not in control, but in coexistence. As Sol faded from view, Vega's communication device activated one final time. The message was simple. Remember, Admiral, the choice is yours. It has always been yours. The Ascension Protocol. The central hub of the Galactic Consortium was in chaos. 3 weeks had passed since Admiral Vega's return from the Sol system, and the Council had yet to reach a consensus on how to respond to the human ultimatum. Half the councilors advocated for immediate military action, a futile gesture, in Vega's opinion. The other half argued for negotiation, though their fear was palpable. Vega stood before them now, his patience wearing thin. Counselors, while you debate, the humans wait. They have demonstrated their capabilities by disabling my ship, the most advanced vessel in the consortium fleet, without firing a single weapon. They have shown they can infiltrate our most secure systems with ease, and they have proven they can alter our citizens on a fundamental level. All the more reason to eliminate this threat before it spreads further, argued Councillor Dren, his containment suit pulsing with agitation. And how do you propose we do that? Vega countered. Our weapons couldn't destroy them 30 years ago, when they were confined to a single planet. What chance do we have now that they've evolved beyond our comprehension? You sound as if you admire them, Admiral. Counselor that observed, her avian features sharp with suspicion. I respect their resilience, Vega admitted. And I believe we must learn from our past mistakes. The purge of Sol was an error, perhaps the greatest the consortium has ever made. We feared human potential so much that we tried to extinguish it. Instead, we forced it to evolve into something far more powerful. What would you have us do, Admiral? Asked Counselor Xil, whose crystalline form had dulled with stress. Surrender to these ascended humans. No, I propose we accept their offer of dialogue. They have already demonstrated good faith by releasing the citizens of Eridani Hub and restoring all affected systems. Not a single consortium life has been lost. Yet, Dren muttered. Before Vega could respond, every display in the council chamber activated simultaneously. The familiar face of the human representative appeared, its black eyes reflecting the stars. Counselors of the Galactic Consortium, your deliberations have gone on long enough. We require your answer. The council members froze, some in fear, others in outrage at the intrusion. Counselor Vet recovered first. How dare you breach the security of this chamber? This only confirms our suspicions about your hostile intent. The human's expression remained serene. If our intent were hostile, Counselor Vet, this conversation would not be happening. Your civilization would already be transformed. What do you want from us? Counselor Xil asked, cutting through the tension. Recognition, reparation, revelation. The human's voice was calm, almost melodic. Recognition of our right to exist, reparation for the attempted genocide of our species, and revelation of the truth to all consortium citizens about what was done in their name. Impossible, Dren declared. Such admissions would destabilize the entire consortium. Perhaps it needs destabilizing, the human suggested. Perhaps the time has come for evolution, not just for humanity, but for all sentient species. Vega stepped forward. What exactly are you proposing? The human's gaze shifted to him. A new beginning, Admiral Vega. A fusion of consortium wisdom and human innovation. The Ascension Protocol is not just a weapon or a tool. It is the next step in conscious evolution. We offer to share it, selectively and gradually, with all species who wish to join us. And those who don't? Counselor That asked, will be free to continue as they are. We have no desire to force our path upon others. Unlike the consortium, we respect the right of self-determination. The barb struck home. Several counselors shifted uncomfortably. You offer peace with one hand while threatening assimilation with the other, Dren accused. We offer choice, the human corrected. More choice than you gave us. But our patience is not infinite. You have one standard cycle to reach your decision. Admiral Vega will serve as our intermediary. The display went dark, leaving the council in stunned silence. Vega was immediately bombarded with questions, accusations, and demands. He raised his hands for silence. Counselors, I believe this is our best, perhaps our only, chance to avoid conflict. I will travel to the Sol system again and attempt to negotiate terms that protect consortium interests while acknowledging human sovereignty. After hours of debate, the council reluctantly agreed. Vega departed the next day aboard the Inevitable Justice, accompanied by a small delegation of diplomatic and scientific advisors, including Science Officer Merrick, whose analytical mind might help decipher the true nature of the Ascension Protocol. As they approached the Sol system, Merrick studied the readings with fascination. Admiral, the energy signatures are even stronger now. And they're harmonizing somehow, creating patterns I've never seen before. What does it mean? Vega asked. Merrick's neural pathways flashed with excitement. I'm not sure, but if I had to guess, I'd say we're witnessing a form of communication. These aren't just ships or weapons. They're part of a network, a collective consciousness. Before Vega could respond, the familiar sensation of his ship being taken over swept through the Inevitable Justice. But this time, instead of shutting down, the ship accelerated, following a predetermined path through the asteroid field. They emerged into a clearing at the center of what had once been Earth's orbit. There, suspended in space, was a structure that defied comprehension. It resembled a massive neural network, with pulsing pathways of energy connecting countless nodes. At its center was a sphere of blinding white light. "The Ascension Protocol," Vega murmured. "It's beautiful," Merrick whispered, her scientific detachment momentarily forgotten. The human representative materialized on their bridge, not as a hologram or projection, but physically present, having transported aboard through means Vega couldn't begin to understand. "Welcome back to Sol, Admiral Vega, and welcome to your delegation." The human nodded to each of them in turn. "I am Ilara, speaker for the collective." "You have a name," Vega noted with surprise. Ilara's lips curved in a slight smile. "We retain our individuality within the collective. Unity does not require uniformity." "An interesting philosophy," Vega acknowledged. "One the consortium might learn from." "Indeed. Now shall we begin our negotiations?" Over the next several days, Vega and his delegation engaged in intense discussions with Ilara and other representatives of the human collective. They learned that after the purge, a small group of humans had managed to hide within the asteroid belt, using experimental technology to shield themselves from detection. There, faced with extinction, they had accelerated their technological development at an exponential rate. The Ascension Protocol had been their salvation, a means of transferring human consciousness into a collective neural network while maintaining individual identity. "We became more than we were," Ilara explained, "but remained human at our core. Our emotions, our memories, our hopes, all preserved and enhanced." "And the asteroids?" Merrick asked. "The ships." "Extensions of our will," Ilara replied. "Matter shaped by thought. The physical manifestation of our collective consciousness." As the negotiations progressed, it became clear that the humans did not seek revenge. They wanted acknowledgement of the wrong done to them, assurances it would never happen again, and the freedom to continue their evolution without interference. In return, they offered limited access to their technology, not the Ascension Protocol itself, which they believed most species weren't ready for, but advances in medicine, energy production, and interstellar travel that would benefit all consortium citizens. On the final day of negotiations, as Vega prepared to return to the Council with the proposed terms, Ilara made an unexpected offer. "Admiral, before you leave, we invite you to experience the collective, briefly and superficially, to understand what we have become." Vega hesitated. "Is it safe?" "For a limited exposure, yes. You will maintain your autonomy and can withdraw at any time." After careful consideration, Vega agreed. Ilara placed her hand on his forehead, and suddenly, Vega's consciousness expanded. He was simultaneously himself and part of something vast and beautiful. He felt the thoughts, emotions, and memories of thousands of minds, not as an intrusion, but as a symphony of shared experience. He saw Earth as it had been, blue oceans, green continents, teeming with life. He felt the terror and grief as the consortium fleet descended. He experienced the desperate flight into the asteroid belt, the years of hardship, the breakthrough that led to the Ascension Protocol. And he understood, truly understood, that what humans had become was not a threat to be feared, but a potential future for all sentient life, a future where isolation gave way to connection, where the barriers between minds dissolved while individual identity remained. When Vega returned to himself, tears streamed down his face. "Now you comprehend," Ilara said softly. "Yes," Vega whispered, "and I will make the Council understand as well." The return journey to the central hub was silent, each member of the delegation processing what they had witnessed. Vega spent the time preparing his report and recommendation to the Council. When he finally stood before them again, he spoke with a conviction he had never felt before. "Councilors, I have experienced the Ascension Protocol firsthand. I have touched the mind of the human collective, and I can assure you with absolute certainty they do not seek our destruction or subjugation. They seek recognition, reparation, and the freedom to determine their own future." "You've been compromised, Admiral," Councilor Dren accused. "They've altered your mind. They've opened it, Vega corrected, as they wish to open all our minds to new possibilities. For hours, Vega presented the terms the humans had offered. Some counselors remained skeptical, others curious, a few openly hostile. But as the evidence mounted, the technological advancements the humans were willing to share, the peaceful resolution of the Eridani hub situation, the restraint they had shown despite their overwhelming power, even the most resistant began to waver. Finally, Counselor Xil spoke. What you describe, Admiral, is not just a peace treaty. It is a fundamental restructuring of consortium principles. For 12,000 years, we have guided the development of younger species, determining which technologies they could access, which paths they could follow. And perhaps that was our mistake, Vega replied. Perhaps true wisdom lies not in control, but in collaboration, not in fear of difference, but in celebration of it. As the Council prepared to vote on the proposed treaty, the Chamber's displays activated once more. But this time, instead of Ilara alone, hundreds of human faces appeared. Men, women, children, elders, representing every ethnicity that had once existed on Earth. They spoke in unison, their voices blending into a harmonious whole. Counselors of the Galactic Consortium, 30 years ago, you sought to extinguish humanity because you feared what we might become. Today, we stand before you as what we have become, not conquerors or destroyers, but explorers of consciousness, seekers of harmony. The displays shifted, showing images of the Ascension Protocol, of human minds joined in collective experience while maintaining their unique identities. We offer you not submission, but partnership, not assimilation, but cooperation. The universe is vast enough for all paths, all forms of existence. Will you join us in exploring them? For a long moment, the council chamber was silent. Then, slowly, Counselor That rose from her seat. I was present when the vote was taken to purge Earth, she admitted, her voice heavy with regret. I raised my hand in favor, believing it necessary for the greater good. I was wrong. One by one, other counselors rose, acknowledging their part in the attempted genocide of humanity. And one by one, they voted to accept the human terms, not out of fear, but out of recognition that the time had come for the consortium to evolve. In the months that followed, a new era began. The humans established embassies on key consortium worlds, sharing their knowledge and technology selectively. Some citizens, drawn to the promise of the Ascension Protocol, chose to join the human collective. Others preferred to remain as they were, observing and learning from a distance. The consortium itself underwent a transformation, becoming less hierarchical, more open to diverse paths of development. The fear that had driven them to destroy Earth was gradually replaced by curiosity about what other wonders the universe might hold. Admiral Vega, having played his part in forging this new alliance, eventually accepted Ilara's invitation to join the collective permanently. His unique perspective as a non-human enriched the collective consciousness, creating new neural pathways, new possibilities for understanding. And in the asteroid field that had once been Earth's grave, a new planet began to form, built not of rock and water, but of the collective will of ascended humanity. A beacon in space, visible to all species, carrying a simple message. From destruction comes creation. From division comes unity. From fear comes hope. The cycle that had begun with Earth's destruction had come full circle. The silent reckoning had given way to vocal reconciliation. And throughout consortium space, beings of all species contemplated the message that had once seemed like a threat, but now offered a promise. You brought this upon yourselves. The future you create is the future you deserve. For humanity, that future was ascension. For the consortium, it was enlightenment. And for all sentient life, it was a reminder that evolution, of body, of mind, of society, could not be stopped, only guided. The stars themselves seemed to pulse with new potential as the human collective and the Galactic Consortium took their first tentative steps into a shared future, forever changed by the lesson Earth's children had taught them. True power lies not in destruction, but in transformation.